Good afternoon, brethren. It's Mark Burstow, Provincial Communication Officer of Dorset Freemasonry, and I'm with the Provincial Grand Master for Dorset, Graham Glazer. Good afternoon, Graham.
Good afternoon, Mark.
It's lovely to see you, and thank you very much for agreeing to take some questions from the brethren. We've had plenty of questions come into our inboxes, so we thought we'd just ask you 3 or 4 this afternoon and then pick it up again, perhaps next week. Graham, one of the questions we're being asked is about Provincial Grand Lodge in Dorset in 2020. We're due to have it in October. Under the current circumstances, how does that look to you?
It's not looking too good, Mark. I'd like to think that it's probable that we would have it, but until the government announce how long the lockdown is going to be for, and on resuming from the lockdown, whether they're going to ban gatherings of, say, more than 10 or more than 20 people, we won't know. Once they've told us, then I'll be able to tell the brethren. I'm hoping that the United Grand Lodge of England will give us some guidance as to how we can go back, but my patent says I must hold an annual meeting once a year. Now, therefore, I've got, in theory, till December the 31st to hold it, and as soon as I can, we will. It may be in a modified form in that perhaps I won't invite brethren from other provinces, because brethren from provincial Grand Masters from other provinces will also be playing catch up, and it may well be that 3 or 4 or even more of us may be holding annual meetings on the same day. The summons for that meeting, when it comes out, will be sent to every brother by electronic mail. The reason for this is that Provincial Grand Lodge of Dorset has got to look at its commitment to sustainability and lessening the province's footprint. And really, this is the best way to do that. I will be consulting with my cabinet once we know when we can resume, and I will keep you informed. You can be sure of that, brethren. For those of you who were getting active or past provincial grand ranks on that day, if we don't hold the meeting, your ranks are effective from that very day. And if that be the case, that we can't all meet, then I will ensure that we meet locally as soon as possible after that date, where we can enjoy each other's company, and I congratulate you personally.
Is there any aspect of your role as Provincial Grand Master which this enforced separation has made you value even more? Can you tell the brethren what that might be?
Well, it's a very difficult question to answer, and I thank personally the London Dorset Lodge, who I know sent me that question, and I've rather stupidly passed it to you. So, as I say, it is a difficult question. What aspect is so special to me? Well, meeting the brethren individually, presenting 60-year certificates to brethren that are due those things, installing worshipful masters. It's the seriousness of our meetings, but also, and just as importantly, the camaraderie and banter after the lodge is closed. I think that's what I'm missing most.
During this period of suspension, Graham, there have been some lodges should have had their installation meetings, and those installations meetings have been cancelled. Can you give any thoughts to those lodges about how things might go forward for them? Will they catch up with those installations, or how might they operate during that period?
Well, the answer is quite straightforward, really. The Book of Constitution tells us that if a master has already been elected, then he should be installed at the next available meeting. Now, if that's the case, there's nothing to stop the lodge applying for a dispensation or to hold a special meeting, or to hold or to install him at the next meeting of the lodge. The downside of that is, if they're only meeting, say, 4 times a year, and he may already have missed 2 or perhaps even 3 meetings, his tenure as worshipful master is going to be very, very short indeed. Personally, I wouldn't want that. My advice to the lodge secretaries and lodge committees is to do nothing, to maintain the status quo. as part of the obligation of a worshipful master, and I'm giving no secrets away, he undertakes to be the worshipful master until such time as a successor shall have been duly elected and installed in my stead. If we get to the stage where a master has yet to be elected, either in April, May, June, or even July, which of course is during our period of lockdown, then the situation again is quite clear. If the lodge wishes to keep him as worshipful master, they're free to do so. If they wish to elect a new master, again, they are free to do so. However, the best way of doing that is to ask for a dispensation for a special or emergency meeting where the only item on the agenda is to elect a worshipful master, and then carry on with the installation at the next meeting as usual. But I bring the brethren back to my earlier remarks that really it's nicer for the master to have served for 12 months rather than a much shorter period. Those of us that have been through the chair know how much we enjoyed it and how much we would have preferred not to have had it shortened.
You usually have an edition of the Dorset Masonic Calendar, a physical copy of that Dorset Masonic Calendar each year. Can you give us some guidance on what's going to happen with the 2020 edition of the Dorset Masonic Calendar?
Well, really, again, Mark, we come back to this question of are we going to be released into our normal state of society? I think the answer is no, we're not going to have a physical edition. The digital edition will be available shortly, I hope, very much like the Dorset Masonic magazine. Whilst I would like to see a hard copy of the calendar, economics of lack of advertising, lack of information, force me to say, no, there will not be one. But there will be one again in 2021.
Thank you, Graham. Just like to thank you on behalf of the brethren for answering those questions for us today. We'll have some more for you, no doubt, next week. And I'd like now to hand over to you, Graham, for your weekly vlog.
I'm only going to give you good news this week. Firstly, Brit Valley Lodge quietly celebrated their 50th anniversary, having been consecrated on the 23rd of April 1970. So from me to the brethren of Brit Valley Lodge, many congratulations, and I'm sure I speak also not just for myself, but for all the brethren in Dorset. Now, according to Facebook, a certain brother Alex McCombie is celebrating his 50-something birthday this very day. Happy birthday, Alex. I'll look out for the photos on Facebook in due course. Coupled in with that, brethren, next Sunday, the 3rd of May, I will be telling you of a very well-known brother who will be celebrating his birthday on that day, and it's his 92nd birthday. You'll need to tune in or watch my vlog next week to find out who it is. Brethren, another good piece of news that we've received this week in Dorset is that the Masonic Charitable Foundation have decided to grant us £10,000 to use for worthy projects which we identify here within our province. Working alongside the DMC so that we ensure that there is no duplication. I think that's very good news. We've got a small committee of 3 people, so decisions can be made very, very quickly. If you want to nominate a project, then get in touch with Peter Boyd, our charity steward. Much of it we are looking at currently is for the provision of personal protection equipment, which is being provided by Paul Grammar School and other institutions and our own brethren from within their own homes and business premises. They've also decided that over the next 5 years of the festival, they will allocate further amounts to us. And again, we'll be looking at projects that we come up with. Brethren, I look forward to seeing you all again next week. Keep well, keep safe, and above all, keep smiling.